Here's an AMI This Week shortcut with Beth Deer.
Since 1882, Regina Fire and Protective Services has been an essential part of the city by responding to the needs of their community. And so, when a community member brought forward an idea for an Autism Alert initiative, Public Information Officer Candice Giblett was listening.
We always, as an emergency service and a fire department, we always want to provide the best service that we can for community members. So you want to be very targeted. You want to be, you want to know the needs in your community and meet that in a way that's going to be respectful and the best for them.
So, Candice, what is the Autism Alert Initiative and how did it all begin?
Regina Fire and Protective Services was approached by a community member. There was concern that emergency service providers might not understand the communication and reactions of people on the autism spectrum. And we came up with kind of a two-pronged approach. The first was to educate emergency service providers on what autism looks like. So when a person is on the autism spectrum, what might be some of the reactions that they wouldn't expect. And then the second piece was that we were able to develop or add an alert to addresses that family members would volunteer. If Regina Fire and Protective Services is called to that address, that alert pops up for our dispatchers and they're able to advise the emergency personnel en route to that address that there is a member of that household that is on the autism spectrum.
Amy Hewitt, Senior Mental Health Therapist at the Autism Program in Regina, was asked to help with the training of the firefighters.
So I think the idea behind the training is to get officers, of course, not to diagnose or anything when they come on scene, but just to have some more information so that they can maybe recognize that this might be someone with autism that I'm dealing with. And then also to give them tools and strategies that they can use to sort of interact with that individual to hopefully de-escalate a situation and resolve it in a really safe manner.
I think this is a great idea, Amy. Are you able to share with us some of the information and techniques that the firefighters learn?
So what first responders would learn is sort of what are the characteristics of someone that has autism spectrum disorder. So these might be kids that sort of avoid eye contact. They might be overstimulated by sounds or busy environments. Many of our kids are nonverbal and many of our kids are verbal. So it's a wide spectrum of ability for communication. So when first responders have that information, I think it's important because then they can sort of look at the situation a little bit differently and maybe safely assess a situation. They might do things like turn off the lights or sirens if they see that it's agitating someone. It might be, keeping your language simple, clear, and concise so that it's not confusing for the individual.
And although the Autism Alert system thankfully hasn't needed to be used yet, the ongoing cooperation between Regina Fire Services and the autism community is proving to be invaluable.
It's always about building partnerships because there are people out there that have the knowledge that you don't. So use in the best way those relationships and those expertise to build the best service that you can in your department. That's our philosophy, and all of our members are on board and excellent at providing very specific service.
So I think the more tools and the more strategies we give our first responders, they have a big job to do. So the more we can help them out, the more we can safely resolve these situations for families and individuals with autism.
Candice, why do you think that Regina Fire and Protective Services has embraced this so well?
Fire departments, I think people just see them as that, red truck and the response and put the fire out, but they are so much more. This is a group of individuals that are just waiting to respond to their community needs.